Welcome back to Call What You Want. I'm Jimmy alongside Chuck and Jesse Marshmallow Marsh, and we are going to do a little game called What If? Now, the question that's going to start us in this game is, what if Tyler Adams and Weston Mckennie miss out on the Nations League semifinals?
Ooh.
Nations League overall. What do you do? So let's Chuck, I'll come to you first. You're putting on the hat here. You're on the coaching staff of the USMNT national team.
Mm-hmm.
What if those two are out? I know Tyler Adams is back at training with Bournemouth. Great news. And Weston, he seems like he hurts his shoulder a lot, so maybe he'll be fine. But let's assume they're both going to be out. What do you do then?
All right. Automatic starter without even thinking about it twice. Johnny Cardoso. He has started 7 straight matches in La Liga for Real Betis. 1 goal, 2 assists. He's been phenomenal. He's been one of the first names penned into the starting 11. He's been that good. And that's a stacked team, especially in the midfield. So I think from that standpoint, you're covered. Also, I want to give a lot of credit to Luca de la Torre, because he, for me, has taken a massive step forward under Rafa Benitez this season at Celta Vigo. He's got exactly 20 starts. He's played over 1,700 minutes in La Liga. 1 goal and 2 assists in his last 5. He has really come along. And I always felt that you were missing something from Luca de la Torre. Typically, it was side to side. There wasn't really purpose in the way that he played. It wasn't, I'm going to goal or I'm trying to create a goal. It was kind of, I'm just here floating around. I'm an option. Now you're starting to see him really have some almost like he has an idea every single time that he's trying to open up gaps for teammates. He's trying to play in the half spaces. He's trying to, find those mismatches. I'm seeing a clear understanding for the position and what the goal is for him on the pitch. So I'm really pleased that the depth in the midfield has not slacked up. If anything, they're trying to close the gap. So you have Yunus Musa, you have Johnny Cardoso, and Luca de la Torre as 3 capable midfielders who can keep the ball, who are showing that they deserve minutes given that they're playing with their clubs and they're contributing in a meaningful way. They're not just on big clubs, which we've seen from this young group, and not playing or coming in as substitutes. They're getting meaningful minutes in big matches, and that's what we've always wanted from this group. So I think they've taken a step, and then the next step is being the main men on each club team that they perform for. So no worries here, Jimmy.
Okay, I respect that. I'm going to throw a name in too. I think Malik Tillman has been excellent for PSV, and if we wanted a little bit of a different look, Jesse, I come to you then, kind of same question, but bringing Malik Tillman into that equation as well. Who do you think would be the best lineup against Jamaica as we get a little bit more opponent specific here with the options available, assuming Tyler and Weston are not available?
First for me is, of course, when you miss guys, even important guys, it's time for the next guy to step up and be ready to go. So for me, about managing a team is always about who's available, not who's not available. So, and you're right. I agree with you. I think all the names you named and Tillman into the mix as well. I think you have some great options. For me, Yunus is a starter. You can put him in, and I know he maybe hasn't had as many minutes as Johnny and Luca de la Torre and Malik Tillman, but for me, he's shown that he's a cornerstone of what we're doing in the midfield. Gio, not in the squad this weekend with Nottingham Forest, and we heard it was a knock, so hopefully that's not too bad, but that could be another important player in the group that's not available. So, but for me right now, Musa and Tillman are in the lineup, right? And then I would probably tend toward Johnny, but it depends on if you want to play with 2 6s, if you want to play a 6 and 2 8s, how you want to use that 4-3-3, and do you want to invert how you want to look at the 3 in the midfield, and do you want to be a little bit more defensive? Do you want to be a little bit more offensive? But I agree. I think we have some great options. It's great to see depth. I don't worry or stress at all about the quality that all the players that will fill in for those 2 important in Tyler Adams and Weston Mckennie, for filling in for those 2 guys right now. It's maybe our best position, our best options and deepest positions in the team right now is that center midfield. So exciting. I think that's really exciting, and it provides competition, and it means that even when you're in tournaments or when you have lots of games or when you have 2 games, they don't do as many of the 3 games after COVID, 3-game national team windows like they used to, but nonetheless for tournaments, I think we have great options moving forward.
What if you didn't bring in Gio Reyna for this camp? Like, what do you think that would be a net positive overall? Because you're setting a precedent that you got to be playing regularly. I'm just saying that's my what if. The guy hasn't played. The move to Nottingham Forest hasn't worked
I would
out.
advise Greg Berhalter to not do that.
There's a lot of emotional weight to that if he doesn't bring him in. Of course, there's more baggage to this particular player than others. But I don't know. Would you consider not bringing him in because you've got other guys that are just playing better? They're just playing better, and I don't think.
So to your point, like, what if would you not bring in Matt Turner because he's not playing? That's a great retort. What I would say is, Jimmy, it's all case specific. So you can't just say this is the baseline, the threshold for everybody, because everyone's situation is different.
Sure.
If Christian is at Real Madrid or Barcelona and he's not playing, he's still coming in. He's still your best player, right? So what I'm saying for Gio Reyna is he's so different because he has that special ability with the ball at his feet to open up teams that you still bring him in. You have to assess where he's at.
That's fair.
What can he contribute?
I was saying the same thing
come
about
off the bench and make a difference, right?
I get
it.
But
I think there's a big difference between him and Tim, just in terms of their ability, their age, what they can provide versus, I think Tim Ream is better when you're starting because he has the full game and, if he's fit and playing every week. But I think at this point, it seems like father time comes for everybody. It was just a matter of time. He had been performing at such a high level for so long, and he's only getting older. So I'm not surprised that it's happened. Maybe I'm surprised it's happened this fast. But Gio Reyna has got to be called into the camp.
Okay. Jimmy, let me, one of the things in England they love to talk about are non-negotiables, right? Everyone says, so what are your non-negotiables? And my response is always, my only non-negotiable is not using the phrase non-negotiable because every situation is different, right? And this is from how you find players, how you handle different players, and if they're training, if they're playing, if they're coming back from injury. Every situation is unique. And if you just have blanket coverages for how you deal with things, of course, you always have to have standards and certain rules within a team and how things operate, and everybody has to know what the standards are. But you have to understand the ability to manage and massage situations so there's clarity and there's commitment and there's belief and there's understanding for what your role is, how you fit in the team, how in the moment, what it means for you at any given time. And overall, by doing that effectively as a manager, I think what you get is total team commitment. And players can accept tough messages if they feel like they're handled with respect and honesty. That's how I found things. So, this is what I said a while ago, that when a lot of the center midfielders were performing and Gio wasn't getting time at Dortmund, maybe Gio's role is a little bit different now than what it would be if he was playing all the time. And you have to be clear with him. And it's not about disrespect. It's just about trying to now manage the group and get the most out of them so that you can perform and get the most out of the team so that you can get results and then achieve big things, achieve big goals within the team. So let's see how that plays itself out. That'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, for the record, I would bring in Gio, but I just wanted to throw that out.
Would you start him though?
I wouldn't start him. So that kind of gets into like the next tier of that what if, because what else? Like if I'm Malik Tillman and I'm starting to play at a level against good competition, created the most chances against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League round of 16, was arguably the man of the match against Feyenoord this past weekend in a 2-2 draw and scored. Like if he comes into camp and doesn't play, like what else do I got to do? I mean, I guess outside of you just saying, well, you just got to be consistently good like that every single game.
I mean, it's possible for him and Gio to play together, right?
Of course.
But in the end, Tillman, for me, he's playing at an extremely high level right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I would start Tillman over Gio. How about you, Chuck? You're asking a lot of questions right now. I need some.
Yeah, I am. I'm a man of questions. I'm not starting Gio Reyna against Jamaica. He's not match fit. He's not going to be sharp. It's impossible to play at the international level if you're not playing at club for such a long time and come in against a hungry Jamaica side and be able to go for at least 60 minutes hard. It's just you're not going to be sharp. And so,
listen, as good as Gio is, and as much as he believes in himself, he has to understand this, right? He has to understand, and he has to have respect for his teammates that are playing well and playing often. And so this is normal. This is normal.
Yeah.